Good evening. Good evening, Frida.
Good evening, Miss Rachel. How are
I
you tonight?
am so good. I just had a beautiful forest walk in the dark, and anytime that I go for walks, it just brings this energy of calmness and peace and total relaxation. And then I can bring that into my business and I can bring it into my meetings, and it trickles in everywhere, you know. It really does. Which kind of leads us into our conversation. I'm just turning off my notifications.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
The bases you are using that are destroying your success in business.
Totally. So yeah, you're great at asking questions. I'm going to let you be. You can,
Hmm.
yeah, you can be my intern
Yeah.
tonight.
Mm. Well, what did you acknowledge as bases you were using that were destroying your success in business?
Oh, thank you so much for this question. So this call came about after a conversation with Gary Douglas when I recognized that anytime I was focusing on result, my whole world was getting smaller and contracted. And I asked him, "Hey, can you support me in regard to I find myself sometimes like looking for the result instead of, enjoying business." And he said, that's the basis, like the basis in this reality. When I say this reality, I'm talking about culturally what we've been trained to in regard to business is if you're doing business, it has to be from a certain result and it has to be right or you're wrong. And now, when we're talking about joy business, we're talking about applying the tools of consciousness to the creation and generation of business. And so everything is a choice. For me, a successful business as an infinite being is a choice. And so what I was doing is I was going to the basis to prove myself true result, which is so I had the result as a basis, I had the proving as a basis, I had
Yeah.
the get right as a basis. And so and so instead of I have a choice to create, like I have a choice whether I come on and talk about this topic with you tonight. I have a choice whether I put this call out into the world or not.
Yeah.
And so what I was negating was the power of choice and what I am capable of choosing. And actually, business is a choice, creation is a choice. We'll talk about the new creations added to the clearing statement as well on the call, in case you don't know, right? The new clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, base,
These creations.
and beyonds. And so the creations aspect of it is I was creating a place where I was destroying my fun and my peace and my ease in the creation of my business. And then I had to recognize what was creating that creations. And what was creating it was my business was running through the form and structure of this reality, result, difficult, hard, force, instead of, which is a formation of energy, instead of running through consciousness, which are the elements of success, are ease, calmness, trust, choice, knowing that you can create anything you desire. And one of the things that came up for me, a big basis that I had was I had this weird point of view that, or a belief, okay, that I didn't deserve to receive success with ease, which I am and which I have, but I was like dismissing it. So I also, one of the bases I was using was not recognizing and acknowledging what I was gifting and creating with the business. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's just such a big topic. And these bases are the way we actually create business, from a structure of getting it right, avoiding getting it wrong. And we're constantly weighing and measuring, losing and winning. And I was in the bases. And so that conversation is what now created this call.
Mm. And isn't that so amazing that when we're vulnerable with ourselves, and thanks for being vulnerable here live, like actually something greater can be created once we're willing to look at it.
Yeah. And for me, vulnerability is the lead choice in generating business. This is where I'm not coming on saying, hey, I've got it perfect and right, I'm actually coming on and saying, hey, I'm really choosing to create from different energies. The joy of business is about receiving. That's the whole the whole basis, interesting, pot of pock. The energetics of joy of business is business from receiving. But if I'm not receiving me, then I cannot receive when people pay me, when I contribute to people's living being greater, when I create a different future with my business. And so it's all these judgments and all these bases really twist us out of receiving and twist us away from what we can choose and what we can create. And for me, vulnerability, instead of blaming someone, saying, oh, this isn't working and I'm not getting this result because of you, Frida, or because of you. Blame is a basis that I'm saying, hang on a second, my point of view, somewhere I have a point of view down here that's disrupting my success. And for me, I'm willing to weed those points of views out. And then by me knowing that I can weed them out and knowing that I can generate business from ease, joy, and glory, and I'm going to say the future that we can create and receive through the use of these tools, that's vulnerability.
Yeah. And so what have you received now that wasn't available before?
I have, Gary Douglas said something, I wrote it in the thread for the two of us. He said, business of the future will be a willingness to receive, not based on your need for money or anything other than what contribution will this be to create the future I desire. And so what it has allowed me to receive that conversation is business for me is about creating the future that I would like to have and that I desire. And joy business is that for me. That's what I would like to have on planet Earth. Instead of taking, trying to take, actually recognizing that I am willing to receive these tools, that I'm willing to receive the change that they have allowed me to access and the choices that I can make and the gratitude. I mean, I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't be working with you today only for joy business tools.
Yeah.
There's no
we get so lucky to work together.
and it's so funny. Shannon O'Hara talks about an economy of consciousness. You came to a call with me, your living got greater, financially your living became greater. You use the tools, you use the access tools. And so we are all receiving the benefits of the contribution of consciousness and what can be created and what we would like to have and what we desire. And so that, imagine I met you and now we go on to generate more of that in the world. It's just incredible. Yeah. And so if you're out there and you're starting to recognize that you have beliefs that do not allow you to receive, are beliefs that about, I deserve this if I work this much, if I do this, I deserve this, or if I give you this, I deserve this, which is all the weighing and measuring the bases. And I know I had a lot of these. What if you really...
Me too.
Yeah. All of us have these structures, spaces. So what if you ventured into a future where you're willing to receive and you're willing to look at what you can contribute and what you desire on planet Earth with your business? It's a complete shift. Yeah, it's a complete transformation.
Yeah. And I was looking at this the other day. And so for everyone watching who's like, I don't know what I desire.
Yeah.
Some time and space and really had a look at it. What do I enjoy? What do I see in others where I'm like, oh my God, that's something I would like for example, you and Troy, when I see you guys creating together, I'm always like, wow, like
Yeah.
what a just a space, and that you have so much fun, and I have so much fun when I create with you guys, and it's just
Yeah.
how does it get any better?
And actually, I remember one time myself and Troy had a big shift in the business, and you were with us. And like one of the things that I adore about business and joy business done different, is that you don't have to hide anything. And so we were really vulnerable with you saying, hey, we have different points of views about how we're going to move on from this change within the business. And you were there and you couldn't believe that we didn't do judgment. We didn't do separation. We actually sat down. We had like, I think it was a Coke or something to drink, and it was sushi. Yeah. And so one of the things that I love about that is that there was nothing to hide. And we were also willing to be present and have ease with sometimes challenges of having different points of views and different perspectives, and not expecting the other person to see it my way, you know, and not projecting that they have to get it my way, and knowing that what is true for you. I'm always willing to change my point of view when the point of view that I have is not working. And it's like, it's such, you said it, it's such a beautiful way to live, that you can create from contribution. And I guess I'd love everyone to know that it's available, you know. I know you're like a massive cheerleader for Joy Business. You're like, yes. Yeah. I mean, you said, Frida told me the other day, a friend of yours called, like, you're just you're a continuous learner. And so her friend called her up, and her friend said, hey, what are you up to? And she's like, oh, I'm creating some graphics for my bars classes. And so Frida is what we call a creative. I am creativity. And when you're feeding that creativity, and when you're feeding your energy to that future, you know, I'll always be learning. I am just a continuous learner, you know.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's amazing because like even when you speak about it and when I acknowledge it and when I am creativity, it gives me so much energy. Like people could think, oh my god, you do all these things, aren't you tired? But I'm like, no, I can go. I don't want to go to bed.
You have more energy.
Yeah.
And that's a great question. Actually, that's a great question to finish this live with, is, does business and work gift you more energy, or does it give you less? And if it gives you less, what if you knew you could access a way to have more energy in business and work, and in the way that you generate money? And we invite you, like, we've received the magic of Joy Business, you know, the magnificence of it. And we would love everyone to know that it's available for you. You know, consciousness does not discriminate, and it does not exclude. This is available for everyone who's willing to have it. that big piece, have it. Yeah, beautiful. So Sunday night, I'll be live in Florida, and in Europe, I'm pretty sure
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. CET.
Thank you. Thank you for giving that information that I was looking for. And we invite you to Joy Business, a different way to be with business from receiving. It's completely different. You know, it's a radical shift in perception. Thanks so much. Thanks for being here. And we will see you, if you're with us, we'll see you on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.